there is a phrase frequently mentioned in this draft bill: civil war in Ethiopia. Civil war in Ethiopia here and there in this draft bill. And my question is, was civil war practically happened in Ethiopia?
It was not a civil war. It was a war between United States, a loyal servant dog called TPLF, a trained, very well trained, satisfied pigs who have no value of anything, a decency. Why do you drive your people into hell? Why do you cause havoc? Why do you cause a nightmare to your people? It's not a war between Tigrayans and other people, other nations. No, this is, they want to maintain and sustain the TPLF, the produce, the servants, the slavishly obedient to their whatever they say, and who have no regard for that country's well-being, prosperity, or peace, or stability, because United States supported, established in accordance to their policy that says a plan to create and strengthen third world policy state as a means of enforcing population control. That's what TPLF was doing for 27 years in Ethiopia, castrating people and injecting people from reducing birth rates in Amhara region and everywhere in a very systematic way to create and sustain police state, a ruthless state. When the TPLF regime, the APRDF, anyway, we just call it APRDF because it's just a given brand, but the operator was the TPLF. When they were castrating and committing genocide, they did say nothing. They did not impose any, not even consider anything remotely closer to this H.R.6600, while the TPLF were given a free ride to abuse, to persecute, to destroy that country. And how many people have suffered at the hands of brutal police states, TPLF regime? You know, castrated, burned alive in prison twice. They said nothing. In Anyuak, they committed genocide. In 2005, after the election, they killed a child, shot on the head. And it's not only shooting. And they said a child wanted to become a bank robber. This is a joke. Anyway, so that's what they're doing. And it's not a civil war. It was a war between their very well-trained, obedient servant dog called TPLF and the current regime that says, no, let us go, let us pursue a different course in order to improve the well-being of our country. They resisted that. They resisted unless we maintain the previous way, because this is contrary to United States policy. I keep repeating myself. The policy does not allow prosperity, stability, democracy. Imagine prior to the election, they caused a nightmare. They propagated, they created a monster, imaginary phantom monster. Addis Ababa was about to be invaded. It's about to be bloodbath. It's going to be this. And in spite of that, the election went with all its shortcomings. Yeah? And whatever they designed, whatever they were planning, did not bear a fruit or came to a fruition. But that's what they wanted. In that chaos, to destabilize, to reduce to Somalia's level that is going to be like a warlordism in every inch of the land. They wanted to perpetuate that, but thank God it did not happen, and God has saved us, and the people are really brave enough to, and now they're going to use a different tactic, even after this election, because this is what they're feeding. I tell you, in every cafes and every bars and every draft, whatever, Alabit and Tajwid and all that place, they are perpetuating, look, this government, they tried everything. The forces they have created and organized, supported, could not bear a fruit. Therefore, now they use a very subtle way. And branding the entire government is shane, to bring hate, to bring a grievance, to bring suspicion, to bring fragmentation, mistrust. So they want to cause that in a very subtle manner to destabilize the country. And that's what I hear from the public at the moment. I don't know how many officials understand that. And maybe they might hear, oh, when someone just said this, it's not everyone is in the same mindset. No, they want to inject the public with that imaginary fantasy, so the people cannot see exactly their main intention, what the United States is up to. And so they do the inverse. You see, they tell something, and behind it, there's something else. That's what they're propagating. That's what their propaganda is about, propagating, advancing your views to be accepted. So once you anesthetize the people, hypnotize with this hate mentality, and so people are gonna start buying into anything. Go out, do this, sabotage, protest, stop violence, start cause this and that. They do economic sabotage, and then they're blaming onto the government. I don't know how much the government understand that, because their hand is so long. You see, they can reach everywhere. They try that way, this way, conspiring, and telling people, say, look, buy everything and then hide it from the public. And so the public will rise up. And the price of oil, cooking oil. Can you believe that? Ethiopia is exporting sesame and oil seeds, all this stuff. And then suddenly, what was it? Was it a magic at work? There must be a force who is doing this. The government must understand that. It's not about a cooking oil. It's something, every ounce of their energy, a very sophisticated way of destabilizing a nation, destroying it. That's what they are at it.
Thank you very much. And let me add this question quickly. And this draft bill also targets what it called external, actors such as China, Iran, Russia, the United Arab Emirates, even Turkey, in connection with the sale or transfer weapons and arms. And my question is, why these countries are selectively targeted?
The short and the categorical and simple answer is they go against United States foreign policy or foreign interests. Anybody that jeopardize or compromise United States objective, their objective is to weaken, to ruin a nation. Anybody who goes against that, to sustain or to support that regime from destruction, from death, they don't tolerate. That's what it is. It's nothing else. What is it? Turkey's support to Ethiopia, why does it matter to United States? We're not going to invade the United States. We're not neighbors. United States is not a Somalia or a Djibouti or Eritrea next door to us. They're not scared of us because we're not going to go and bomb them with the drones. We're not going to use a drone. Ethiopia's not going to use a drone to bomb America. They are the one who are under our nose in Djibouti. What are they doing? They're not our neighbors. Are they keeping us safe? They've been training and supporting terrorist groups. They created Al-Qaeda. They created all these nemesis in the world. Now they're telling us they're fighting terrorism. United States is the biggest terrorist in the entire history of humanity. Anyone can challenge me, I can prove it to them with their conduct, not assumption, and not imagining, exactly with what they've done, how many countries they've invaded, in the name of humanitarian intervention, they destroyed. It is there in the public view. It's not hidden. They invaded Panama, Iraq, Afghanistan. I'm not inventing this. It's not a propaganda. It's not a hostile view against United States. That's what they did. We're just highlighting exactly what they're doing. We're not inventing a story. They are the biggest crooks in the entire world. I don't have time to explain this, but United States is the most violent and rogue state above law.
Does America have an experience of stabilizing countries and restoring peace, especially in African countries?
There is none at all. They supported apartheid regime sustained. Let me give you this. The United States conduct. By the way, the Thornburg Doctrine, I did not explain it very well. It says, tacitly, the Western world was agreed. They say a world power free from laws. So United States was given a free ride above international law to pursue those 4 objectives. They say world power free from laws, because free from laws is granted through this Thornburg Doctrine. United States in 1982 and 83, they objected or opposed United Nations declaration on education, work, healthcare, proper nourishment, and national development are human rights. In 1982 and subsequently in 1983, the US opposed this declaration. The whole world, how many countries have supported this? And I can give you, out of the entire, the whole world, family of nations that supported this declaration, United States was the only country that objected to this. I'll give you, in December 18, 1982, 131 countries supported, gave a yes vote to this declaration. United States was the only one that opposed a declaration that education, work, healthcare, proper nourishment, and national development, etc., human rights are human rights. They don't even believe food is human rights, education is human rights, healthcare is, a proper nourishment is human rights. Again, in 1983, November 22, 110 countries supported the same declaration, this International Convention on the Suppression and Punishment of the Crimes of Apartheid. 110 countries supported this convention. United States alone opposed apartheid. And then in 1983, on December 16th, 132 countries supported the same declaration I've read, that education, work, healthcare, proper nourishment, and national development are human rights. United States is the only one that objected. So you can understand, United States is not about food, about nourishment, about health, about education, about a decent life. They don't believe in that. They objected to this declaration. Once 131 countries in 1982 supported this declaration, United States is the only one that opposed. Again, in 1983, 132 countries supported this declaration. Only one, United States, opposed to that. And they don't want, they used to support apartheid, crimes of apartheid. And not only that, I can give you more. In 1986, a declaration establishing a comprehensive system of international peace and security. 102 countries supported it, United Nations declaration, and December the 4th, 1986. 102 countries supported it. US and France alone opposed international peace and security. They opposed. Again, on the 4th of December, Declaration on the Right to Development. 146 countries supported it. United States single-handedly opposed to a declaration on the right to development. How can they tell us about development, about human rights, about democracy? And they also opposed a protection against product harmful to health and environment. In 1987, in December the 7th, a call for a convention on the right of the child. They've opposed single-handedly. Everyone supported it. 150 countries supported even the rights of a child. That level of cruelty. 150 countries supported this convention in December 7, 1987. United States single-handedly opposed that. So they cannot tell us. They don't believe about anything to be a decent for human development, human rights, good education, good health service, nothing, because it is contrary to their policy. The two-pronged policy oppose this. Global deindustrialization, if you industrialize, you better life, better living standard. And the population is a threat. The increase of population, they say, if there are many mouths to feed, it will compromise our privilege. Therefore, we need to crash. Most of the time, United States invests, I tell you, in two areas. Let everyone understand this. One, a military that will subjugate their country. They will keep underdeveloped, oppressed, unable to say anything. A strong security system, a brutal, a ruthless third world police state. This is what they invest their trillions, hundreds of billions. Second, on population control. Population, you see, do you think they care about us? Let's say if our population grows into 200 million or 300 million. No, it is for their own interest, they say. The more population you have, by the way, the more intelligent people you have among it, the probability of you having more genius, innovative, inventing mind. They don't want that, a productive mind. It's not they cared about us because the rise of population is a negative effect to us. Of course, it will have, but we knows how to handle. Can I tell one important information for your audience to understand? Ethiopia, including the gone Eritrea, the then Ethiopia, post 1991, the study shows Ethiopia can sustain 500 million people, 500 million, 500 million people at a Swedish, a Norwegian, and all the Scandinavian living standard. 500 million people at a Scandinavian living standard. The problem was they kept us in the dark, in chain. They don't want us to break this chain. They don't want us to break the poverty trap, a vicious cycle of suspicion, instability, mistrust, and contempt for the government. That's what they've been investing in us. They know we have a big potential. I'm talking potentially if we have a proper democratic, political, economic system. And that will lead to stability. Stability leads to development. When you have peace and stability, you have the time to plan, to execute your plan, to think, to innovate, to invent, to improve your situation. So instability, destabilization is to their purpose, because if that occurs, it will go against their interests.
Thank you, Professor. And finally, what do you think that the Ethiopian government and Ethiopian people do to counter such unfair interferences, and even what should other African countries do? This is my final question. Thank you.
The simple and categorical answer is understand the beast. The beast, unless you understand something, you cannot prevent it. They don't want us to understand what is to our detriment, what is to our demise. To our demise, they created a force of fragmentation, the chain on our neck. They don't want us free ourselves from that. Mistrust, suspicion, contempt, fragmentation, all the time, and cat and mouse mindsets. They don't want these people, they don't want enlightened society. They don't want the people to see exactly the root causes of their demise, their weakness, their starvation, their suffering, and the causes of this nightmare. If people understand that, enlightened enough, emerge from their own self-imposed ignorance, and be able to control those satisfied pigs who perpetuate this nemesis policy, a devilish policy, and serving not their own people, but other people who are enslaving them. And you see, this is a self-imposed ignorance. Nobody put a gun on the head of the TPLF to be vicious and to be like that cruelty, to unleash that nightmare to the entire population of Ethiopia. And so understanding is the first, and then, you know, once you understand, you can think how to prevent. As of today, most of our people don't have an understanding. Even government officials, they're not very well informed enough. And they don't have a binocular that will show them beyond the horizon and bring closer to them a strategist mind who can dissect what this devilish, how it works, how this conspiracy works, who designs it, how it's done. I can give you one final example. The one I've been telling you. Enlightened people can prevent and avoid from being infected like a HIV, this hideous and a very dangerous virus, a virus of contempt, hostility, mistrust, suspicion, fragmentation. Always, gotenya, this and that, gotenya, abba, narrow, and this. All this is fabricated, engineered for us, biological weapons of mass destruction for Africa. Contentment, sowing animosity between people who have existed for millennia God did not create us just 50 years or 100 years ago. We've existed for millennia, tolerantly, peacefully, occasionally, clash, but we've existed with all that numerous language and values and cultures. People existed. After these people came to us, they caused us a nightmare to the entire continent of Africa. They saw a seed of contempt, animosity, and infight, mistrust, and suspicion. We cannot cure ourselves unless we understand the nature of this virus.
Professor Dibawa Tasfaye, lecturer at London University from London, UK. Thank you very much for your insights, and we appreciate.
Thank you for having me.
Dear viewers of OBN Horn of Africa, this is all about our discussion for this edition. Until next edition, goodbye.